Hola a todos y bienvenidos al español con yo, me llamo Professor Bowers o profesor, profe, jefe, Professor Bowers, como quieras, a mí no me importa. Y hoy vamos a hablar del vocabulario, de la pronunciación y del alfabeto. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, before we even begin with our lecture today, I just wanted to say a few things about learning a language, okay? Some important things, and you know, people always ask me, how did you learn Spanish? Or how did you learn Portuguese? Or how did you learn French? Yeah, I can speak a little bit of all those. But anyway, they would always ask, how did you learn Spanish so well? And my best answer that I've come up with over the years is that I've screwed up a lot, okay? And not only have I screwed up a lot, I continue to screw up and I continue to be corrected. Language is a very gradual process. If you think about learning a language at a young age, right, you would say things like, he hitted me, which would make sense from a grammatical standpoint if you didn't know that there were irregulars in the language. By the way, Spanish has a lot of irregulars. But if you didn't know that that was wrong, it would make sense. Chomsky calls this our language acquisition device, which is basically the innate ability of everyone to learn a language regardless of the structure of the grammar, the vocabulary, the writing system, whatever. We all have that innate ability to be able to process and learn a language. In addition to a new language, okay, an L2 or a second language. Okay, so we all have that innate ability. But one of the best things you can do is make mistakes. So I want to say this to encourage you all to just go out there and try and make mistakes. When we're doing the lectures, try and repeat after me everything I'm saying in Spanish. Try and make those connections in your daily life. Try and use the language as much as you can. And I promise you, only thing an accent means or mistake means in another language is that someone is learning. Okay, I think that's a really profound quote. When you hear someone with an accent in another language, that means they obviously speak another language already. So don't be intimidated, don't be scared to go out and try and use the language, especially here in the class, and just try and speak as much as you can. That's the best way to learn a new language. And if you mess up, that's okay. There will probably be people out there who will understand you, okay? So with that in mind, let's go ahead and start our lecture for the day. All right. So today we're going to start out by talking about, and there we go. Okay. So today we're going to start out by talking about el alfabeto. So bienvenidos al español 1101. Yo soy su profesor, Profe Bowers. Okay, so we're going to start with the alphabet. So just follow along after me. The alphabet in Spanish is very similar to one you may already know. So follow along with me. You can go back, practice again, but there will also be an activity linked to this lecture that you will create an audio assignment for your vocabulary and a pronunciation guide for some unfamiliar words. Okay, but we'll get to that. So let's start with the alphabet. Everybody follow along after me. A, B, C, Ch, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, L, M, N, Ñ, O, P, Q, R, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, y Z. So try that out. Go back and go over the video again if you need to. Okay, now you might have noticed that there are probably a couple more letters than you're used to in terms of the English alphabet. So let's take a look at that real quick. I'm going to pull up my whiteboard here. So let's write out while I say it again. Okay, I'm going to make a text box here. Let's see if you guys can follow along this way. Okay, so here we have A, B, C, che. Not a letter we're really familiar with in English. D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, ella. That's a little bit of a difference as well. We have elle and we have ella. We'll get to why that is, but it's because the double L is pronounced differently than the singular L. So we'll get back to that. Ella, M, N. See if I can do this. Ñ. There we go. It's a little bit difficult to type that tilde. Ñ, okay, and that's also because that's going to have a little bit different pronunciation. So we have a word like, let's see, piano. Good cognate, right? Piano. But we also have a word like baño. Baño. See the difference in those two words? Piano, baño. It's almost like you were writing it like this. Baño. Okay, and we're going to create some pronunciation guides for letters after this. For words after this. So those are a difference between our N and our Ñ. Okay, so let's keep going. L, ella, M, N, Ñ, O, P, Q. Go up. P, Q. I'll go ahead and start over up here with a new text box. So L, ella, M, N, Ñ, O, P, Q. We have R, R, okay? Two different R's, okay? One R will not produce the rolled sound you see in like the word carro, right? And it's okay if you can't roll your R's. Not every Spanish speaker can roll their R's. So just practice it. We have, and it's very important to make sure you distinguish between these two sounds because we have a word like caro, right? Which would be expensive, something that's expensive. And then we have carro, like un carro, right? I drive a carro, okay? And that's why it's important to remember that there is a difference between the caro. It's almost like you're using a D, caro, caro, versus our double R, carro, carro. So if you can't roll your R's, you can also pause there to make it just known that you're using a double R, okay? So I'll go back. M, N, Ñ, O, P, Q, R, R, S, T, U, B, W, X, Y, y Z. Okay, very good. So there's another thing I want to point out here with two other letters that sound very similar. Okay, and they are the B's. We have B de burro or B de vaca. Does anyone know what un burro is? You've probably eaten a burrito before, a little donkey. So this would be a donkey, un burro. So B de burro or B de vaca. As you can see, I'm not using a fricative consonant here. It's a bilabial consonant. Ba, 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 right? I'm not saying va, va. I'm saying ba, burro, vaca, for both the B and the V. Be, be. Some people in some countries will say this is ube, but it's still the same sound. Vaca, burro. You'll also hear it saying be chica or be grande. The little B or the big B. Be chica, be grande. Be de burro, be de vaca. Okay, muy bien. So that's our alphabet. All right, moving along here. It's very important to be able to process a new language that you're learning through a different filter, okay? So I want to take a short minute here and look at this video by a linguist who did a TED Talk. Let's see, so I'm sharing my screen here. I haven't had to teach class on here in over a couple of weeks. So there is a famous linguist here, and he's giving a TED Talk about the English filter. So let's take a look at this and see how we can use this and apply this to learning a language.
I speak 7 languages. And as soon as people find out about that, what I'm most often asked, other than for my phone number, is how did you do it? How did you go about learning all these different languages?
Okay, so he's going to tell us about a system to break down words in another language to bite-sized pieces for us to be able to pronounce something a lot easier. Something you see in Spanish may not look like a word you're used to, but if you manage it to put it down into small pieces with recognizable structures or words that are familiar to your English tongue, then you'll be able to pronounce stuff a lot better. So let's take a look.
English. Why? Because it will give you wrong signals. So what is the second technique? Scrap it. Scrap the foreign alphabet. Let me give you an alternative of how you can go about this. This is a Brazilian currency, and it's spelled like this. So on the count of 3, can we all say the name of this currency? 1, 2, 3. We have some people who know the spelling. Yeah, real for the most part. And as useful as this might seem, it doesn't tell you a single thing. And when you're speaking Portuguese, real means nothing. Let me give you an alternative. See, in Portuguese, the way that you say real is real. So let me teach you how to say it. So on the count of 3, let's say he. So it's hey, but without the E sound. So 1, 2, 3, he. Perfect. And now let's say ow. It's like ouch, but without the ch sound. So it's ow. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. So he. Ow. He. Ow. He. Ow. He. Ow. He. Ow. Perfect. Now you all sound like passionate Brazilian capitalists.
All right. So I will put up an assignment after the lecture is finished where you will be diagramming your own words to try and make a nice, easy to pronounce, bite-sized chunks on words you may not recognize. So let's do an example together, okay? And we're going to work a little bit more here with the pronunciation so you guys can get a better idea of the sounds of the letters and the combinations that these make. But let's start out with one like this. Okay, this word means city in English, ciudad, okay? So as you hear me pronounce this, go ahead and write your own pronunciation guide real quick. Ciudad, ciudad, ciudad. Okay, you might have gotten something like ciudad, right? Ciudad, ciudad, okay? So this is a way to just make these words seem a little bit less intimidating and to be able to pronounce them a lot better. So I would recommend you doing this for all your vocabulary words for each chapter, okay? Very good. All right, moving along. Back to the PowerPoint here. Okay, so we learned a little bit about the English filter, okay, because we're all going to be processing our language through that. So we'll start with our L's, and I mentioned this briefly earlier, L and double L, okay? So our singular L is going to be like our L in English, college, colegios, reloj, lavar la ropa. Make sure you're repeating after me on each of these. Colegios, reloj, lavar la ropa. Okay, now that's a lot different than the ya, the almost Y sound we will get with the double L. Llantas, llaves, ellos. Okay? Llantas, llaves, ellos. Much different than colegios, reloj, lavar la ropa, llantas, llaves, ellos. Very good. Let's move on to the C's and our Z's. Okay, now when our C is being followed by an A, it's going to be a hard consonant, k, k, like our K, almost like a K in English. Caballo, café, caballo, café. However, when it's followed by an E, it's going to make a softer sound, almost like the English S. Cepillo. Okay, here's one that combines two. Okay, after, if an I comes after the C, it's also going to be a soft C. Vacaciones. So that one actually has both. Vacaciones. These are good. That's a good cognate. I bet you know that word in English. Cocina. Another one with both. If an O is following it as well, it's going to be a hard C. Cocina. Cocina. Okay, now on to our Z. Okay, and we'll talk about this next chapter. But the Spaniards actually differentiate between the CZ and the S, which most other cultures do not do. Okay, so their pronunciation would sound a little bit different. But, okay, now a Z is more of a soft sound in Spanish. Zapatos, cebras, azul, manzana. Okay, so it's similar to the C after when it's followed with an I or an E. Cepillo, vacaciones, cocina, right? Cebras, azul, manzana. Bien. All right, now we have our J and. E in Spanish just means and. You have a Y right there, pronounced E, just like the letter I in Spanish, E, right? So J-I-Y. J and Y, okay? Now the J is going to be a soft J, almost like our H, right? So think about this as almost like an H in the front here. Here we have jardinero. Make sure you're following along. Jardinero. Jefe. That's what everybody calls me. Just because my name's Jeff and it's kind of similar, but it means boss, so it works, right? Jefe. Viejo. Viejo. All right, now on to our Y. Similar sound, but a soft. Similar sound to the Y in English. It's a very soft sound. Let's hear it. Playa, not playa, right? Playa. Ayer. Ayer. Mayor que yo. Mayor que yo. Muy bien. Okay, now we have these things also in Spanish, as we do in English, right? Called diphthongs, okay? And a diphthong is where you kind of meld the sounds of two vocales or vowels together, okay? So let's get started. We have a diphthong with A and I. Aire. It's not aire, right? Aire. We're combining the sound of those two vowels. Aire. Baile. Ay. Okay, even though that doesn't have two vowels in there, that Y is almost functioning as a vowel sound, right? Ay. Also, the H there is silent. You see the H at the beginning of a word in Spanish, it is silent. Okay, now we have our diphthong with EI. Seis, number 6, right? Seis. Reina. Ley. Okay, the OI. Oigo. Hoy, soy. Okay, UI, ruido, cuidado, Luis, ruido, cuidado, Luis. Okay, AU, autor, pausa, fauna. All right, we're not saying fauna, we're not separating each syllable, we're saying fauna, right? Fauna. Okay? EU, amateur, neutral, amateur, neutral. Not a very common one, but you will see it. Here we have our IA, media, infancia, IE, viejo, cielo, siempre. I-O, sucio, precio, novios. I-U, ciudad, ciudad, viuda, viuda. U-A, guapa, guapa. Guante, guante. Okay? We also have UE, bueno. Everyone knows bueno, right? Que bueno. How good. Que bueno. Bueno. It's not bueno. It's not bueno. Bueno. Jueves. Antiguo. Monstruo. Muy bien. Okay, so I'll put this up here after, but these are the words you're going to use to make your pronunciation guide using your English filter. So let me go ahead and pronounce those for you in case you have trouble. Semejante, semejante. Aburrido, aburrido. Ciudad, ciudad. Guacamole, guacamole. Ojalá. Notice that the word with the accent mark here, the pronunciation is on the accent, the last syllable there. Ojalá. Okay, and we'll get into more of that as the semester goes along, but just keep that in mind. There's 3 different ways or reasons you would want to use an accent. One is to notify stress of a syllable. The other would be to designate a question word, and the other would be to differentiate between 2 words with the same spelling. But we'll get to that. Okay. Verdadero, verdadero. Comida, comida. Gato, gato. Okay, so those are the words you will be creating a pronunciation guide for after this lesson. So let's move on to los saludos. Hola, los saludos. Okay, remember probably back in the day, people you would say salutations, partner, right? Salutations, partner. Okay, that's kind of like un saludo, right? A salutation, a greeting, un saludo. Okay, you'll hear oftentimes someone say saludos a tu mamá, right? Hello to your mother, or greetings to your mother. Saludos a tu mamá, right? And you'll say, yep, I'll say hey to them for you. Okay, so let's talk about some basic greetings. Hay muchas, ¿no? This is not an exhaustive list, right? So primero tenemos aquí, hola, la más común, ¿no? El saludo más común, the most common saludo would be hola. Hi, hello, hola. Make sure you're following along and saying these with me. We have buenos días. Buenos días. Good morning. Good day. Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. Buenas noches. Buenas noches. Good night. Good evening. Okay. We typically don't use that as a greeting in the non-Spanish speaking world, or in the English speaking world. However, you can say good night to someone in Spanish and it not mean you're going to bed or you're leaving. Buenas noches. Okay. Another general one, you can just say buenas. Buenas. All right, now on to some despedidas. Algunas despedidas, some goodbyes, okay? I'm sure most people know adios. Adios. Ya me voy. Adios. Okay? Literally means to God. To God you may you go. Spanish is a very Catholic influenced language, which we will see when we look at the history. Okay? Adios. Nos vemos. Okay? This literally means we will see each other. Okay? See you soon, essentially. We will see each other. Nos vemos. This is a reflexive verb, which you will not get to know until the second semester of Spanish, but just thought I'd mention that. We will see each other. It's a reflexive verb. Okay, we have hasta luego. Hasta luego. See you later. Okay, if you see hasta in front of anything, it's like until. Okay, so if you say hasta luego, our translation would be see you later, but it literally means until later. Until later. Hasta luego. We have hasta la vista. Not as common as in Terminator. I think that's the movie it was in. Hasta la vista, baby. Arnold, that was not a terrible German accent. Anyway, we have hasta pronto. Hasta pronto. Muy bien. Hasta mañana. Hasta mañana. So you can use hasta with a lot of things to convey a goodbye or a farewell. Okay. Saludos a María, like I was saying earlier. Saludos a tu mamá. Greetings to them. Chao. Say chao. Adios. Chao. Nos vemos. Cuídate. Okay. There's a lot. But these are just some basic greetings and farewells. Okay. Good job. All right, now we're going to talk a little bit about formal and informal in the Spanish language, okay? And this is a theme that's going to come up a lot, okay? In English, we don't necessarily have a specific tense for addressing formality, but we do have words that can convey formality, such as sir or ma'am. Or if you're in like court, you would say your honor, right? Those would be the times you would want to use usted. Usted. That's a formal ending. So tú would be you, right? Tú, yo, tú, usted, if you were like a cop, or if you were a judge, or a professor, not me, your other professors, or someone well respected in your community. Certain cultures still call their parents usted, but it's a formality issue. So yo, tú, right? Usted would be a formal. So tú would be used among friends, conocidos, amigos y conocidos, friends and acquaintances, people that you know well, who will not be offended by you saying tú, right? But usted, our more formal ending, or our more formal conjugation of verbs and pronoun, will be used with personas mayores, los padres, autoridades. See, I bet you didn't know that San Diego Padres were the San Diego parents. You didn't know that. Bien, so there's a formal versus a informal, or a familiar versus a formal in Spanish. Okay, now we also have the second person plural, which would be the first person plural would be the tú, first person plural. The second person plural would be vosotros. Okay, usted is in the third person. Okay, even though it's referring to you, it's in the third person conjugations because they are the same as the conjugations for he or she or it. But we'll get to that as well. Vosotros would be like saying, hey, y'all. Okay, I'm from the South. I say y'all, right? But ustedes would be like you all or you guys. A little more formal, not as Southern or not as niche, right? So vosotros would be the familiar third person plural it's actually second person, but it's the third person plural. Same thing as what we would use for the third person plural, ustedes, right? It's mainly used in Spain. That's why I do not teach the vosotros conjugation because I don't use it. And unless you run into Spanish-speaking people, which is a very, or people from peninsular Spain, actually from Spain, unless you run into people from Spain, they will be the only people you could use vosotros with. Now, other Spanish speakers would understand you, and likewise, Spanish people will understand you if you say ustedes in front of them, but they just might look at you a little funny. That's okay, though. They'll get you. So I do not use vosotros, nor do I teach it in my class. Okay, I use ustedes. It's just saying you all or y'all. It's a little more formal, but you typically see that the majority of Latin America and Central South America do not use vosotros. It's only Spain. Okay, and por eso, because of that, I do not teach it. All right, so the ustedes, there's the abbreviation there, is the more formal third person plural, but it's used in all cases in Latin America and not commonly employed in Spain unless you were talking to a group of older people that needed respect, right? They use vosotros or vosotras, which we do not use. All right, more on that eventually as the semester goes along. Okay, muy bien. All right, now there's also some ways to ask, how are you? How are you? ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo estás? All right. Now, if we're looking back at this formal versus informal thing, we saw that usted was the more formal greeting, right? Or way to say hello or address someone in their subject pronoun. So if you were talking to someone formally, you would say, ¿Cómo está usted? ¿Cómo está usted? ¿Cómo está usted? How are you? That's a formal way. Okay, if you're talking to someone that you were familiar with, someone you knew well, ¿Cómo estás? Now, it's not necessary to put the tú on the end. Some countries and some cultures do include the personal pronoun more than others, but you can just say, ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Now, as you'll see, the endings here are different, okay? And that is coming from the verb, and these are the conjugations of the verb. Now, some people will say, well, we don't have conjugations in English. Of course we do. Think about the verb to be. I am, you are, he, she is, right? Those are all different conjugations of the same verb. So we're gonna have to do the same thing in Spanish, right? But the good thing about Spanish is it makes a lot more sense, okay? It's a lot more structured. The pronunciation is much easier. If you think about English, rough, bow, through, though, very tough for non-native speakers to learn. Spanish, everything's pronounced the same. The rules are generally a lot easier than English because it's coming from one source, not a Germanic and Latin source. So there's a lot of advantages to learning Spanish over learning English. You kind of consider yourself lucky. You already know English. Okay? Here's some other ways. You can say, ¿Qué hay de nuevo? What's new? ¿Qué hay de nuevo? Literally translated as, what is there of new? ¿Qué hay de nuevo? And you can also say, ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? What's up? Or, ¿Qué onda? ¿Qué onda? ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal is like, how are you? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué hay de nuevo? All right, now I have a line here because if you ask someone these top two questions, you're going to need a response, right? You're going to need to say, I'm well, or I'm bad, I'm terrible. Estoy bien, estoy bien, estoy mal, estoy mal, estoy regular, estoy así, así, estoy más o menos, estoy excelente, estoy malísimo. Okay, so there's obviously a lot of different ranges of emotion that you can convey, but you have to say, I am well. But when someone asks you, what's up, ¿Qué pasa? Or some, it's kind of like if you screw up at the restaurant and your waiter says, enjoy your food, and you say, you too, but he just brought you your food. So it would be like saying, what's up? I'm good. No, you're supposed to say, what's up? Nothing, right? So if someone says, ¿Qué de nuevo? Or ¿Qué pasa? You'd say, nada, nothing, tranquilo, nada, estoy bien. Okay, very good. All right, and then here, finally, we have our respuestas, all right? So if you want to say, estoy bien, I'm great, I'm good, I'm well, right? Estoy bien, all right? Now, one thing I will say, in English, we have come to colloquially accept the response to someone saying, how are you? Say, I'm good. I'm guilty, I say it, even though it's not grammatically correct, right? It's I am well. You don't eat a well apple, you eat a good apple, right? You are not doing good, you're doing well. Okay, if you're doing good, you'd be out working at a charity or something, right? So maybe, hopefully, you're doing both. You're doing good and doing well. But you would say, estoy bien, estoy bien. So if we looked at the other questions, ¿Cómo está and cómo estás, right? How are you? This must mean I am. So that must be the conjugation for our estar verb, meaning to be. How you feel and where you are is when you use the verb estar. Trust me, you'll know that by the end of the semester. Estoy muy bien, gracias. Okay, so you can say I'm well, I'm very well. Estoy muy bien, gracias. Okay, this is our estar in the first person, estoy, and it can be used with most responses dealing with well-being, right? All right, so you can also say, no estoy muy bien, or no estoy bien. I'm not very well, right? So you can negate your response or negate the verb by putting a no in front of estoy, right? Estoy regular, estoy más o menos, estoy so-so, estoy así, así, más o menos, regular. If you're like doing okay, that would be one of your responses, right? And there's the line again. So if you get asked the question, ¿Qué pasa? What's up? ¿Qué hay de nuevo? Nada, nada. Muy bien. So, hope that kind of gave us a little bit of an intro into some of the greetings, the pronunciations, the alphabet, and other things you may come along to in the very beginnings of Spanish. So we'll have plenty more to come, but let me go ahead and do a practice little conversation about what you would see with someone. So I'm going to be on both sides, and I'll do a conversation. So say you were going up to one of your friends named Roberto, right? You would say, Hola, Roberto. And he would say, hola, jefe, ¿cómo estás? Okay, how are you, right? ¿Cómo estás? Estoy muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú? Ooh, ¿y tú? What does that mean? ¿Y tú? And you? Estoy muy bien también, gracias. Right, so it's Roberto. Adiós, chao, hasta luego. So I'll see you next time. Adiós.